Morning ladies, as requested I'm back with a tutorial as the initial photo. It's of an accordion small little pocket folio and I had a lady ask if I could possibly do a tutorial for it. So I got a frog in my throat this morning. Okay, let's get started. First thing is grey board. You need one piece, 3 1/4 by 5 1/4 inches. Now these are approximate because they're for how I've cut stuff out. I mean, it's really decided, it's really up to you. But that's the back. You then want 2 3 1/4 by 4 inches and 2 3 1/4 inch by 1. Okay, you then need an outer cover. Now obviously I've had to join my paper, and what I've done is I've printed it in such a, joined it in such a way that this crease, when the back's folded up, oops, yeah, that one there, the crease falls just at the bottom, so it's all tidy. And that is 17.5 by 4 1/4. You also need an inner lining, and one thing I have done, because this is a pattern direction as such, I've actually done it in such a way that the pattern, so the pattern with the flap comes out the right way and the pattern on the inside flap comes out the right way. So if it looks a bit odd, that's the way I've done it, and I've done the same with the inside cover. Now, I haven't cut the inside cover exactly to length at the moment because I thought, well, I'll just get everything in first. Not too sure what I'm using today. Let's try Fabri-Tac and see if it's going to behave. I've had a few problems lately, I think because it's been so hot. It doesn't like it. Oops. Right. You start off by putting your grey board, and I have marked it just to make it easier for me. But I use a bookbinding ruler, which I find invaluable. So you go, first of all, doesn't look straight to me, that's it, better. Small, well, the medium size, should I say. Then the narrow one. Some of these markings might be out slightly, oops. And the longer one. Oh, come on. You have to put masses of glue on, it's thankfully. Move that up slightly. Oops. That's it. Now, then it's another narrow one. I hope this is in shot. I think it is. Unfortunately, what I've got my actual camera on is quite bulky, so it doesn't always, I just want to make sure I'm in shot. Right. And the last bit, the last one, goes in like this. Let's check that's about right. Yeah, that's okay. Right. Now with this tool, I can then cut off the corners. Whoops. Quite easily. You don't have to use these. I didn't, but because I do a lot of traditional bookbinding, I tend to use things that are easy. Right, now I always turn up the ends first. Reason for this, you then get a nicer corner finish. This glue is really playing up. Now when I come in to do these corners, what I do is I push them up so it just tucks it over slightly. And the other end. Okay. And the other thing, it's worth just creasing slightly. I didn't bother with the ends because you don't have to worry so much with those because they would go up anyway. But when you're, because it's such a long piece, and the other thing I will do with this is, because it is such a long piece, I will put some of the red tape down. Because it just helps. I'll still put glue, but it just helps to keep everything in place. Okay, peel this off. Again, I know this tape is expensive, but I think it's worth it because you get quite a good result. Let's put some glue on here. And another reason for using this is because I find at the moment while it's warm, it tends to seems to take longer to stick, the glue, for some reason. Okay. Same again this side. So I have to be careful because I sliced my thumb the other day and the air was blue. Puppy's now asleep, so I'll show him at the end of the video, providing he's still asleep. Okay, and then that looks lovely from the outside. Now, what I do is I'll just lightly press down, because remember there is the red tape going across there. So hopefully what you don't want is you don't want any bags. Okay, and that then is the little, oh, on my way up. That's the little box. Okay, now you can close it with magnets. The only thing is sometimes they're a bit unpredictable, so I tend to use the little hooker loops. These, but I'll show you that at the end. That can go on at the end. Okay, now what we need to do, see where the join is, the join's there. We now need to put, just working this out, that's the top. Let's go around this way, I think. Okay, and as you can see, you can now work it out. This time I've got the join in the base, and there's a reason for that you'll soon see. So let's just mark this and cut this down. The reason why I didn't cut it before was because you never know if something's going to be slightly out of alignment. This bit originally, oh, I didn't actually measure it, so 3 1/8 by say 15 3/4. Whoops. Okay, now we can stick this down. Again, I think I will put the red tape round. Reason being, again, it does help. I'm based in the UK, in Hampshire, which is the south of England. And this week, for 3 days, it's better today. It has been horrific. It was well over 80, and although we're only about 17 miles from the sea as the crow flies, unfortunately it has been impossible, and the puppy hasn't liked it. He's been very grumpy. In fact, so much so we contacted Bare Bones canine training yesterday, and Karen, the lovely lady, rang me back, and we had a long discussion about him and his behaviour, and one of the things cropped up was the food. Now I just went for what I thought, and it is a golden retriever specific. But I didn't realise, and I suppose you don't unless you go into it, you just see these adverts and, you know, that's it. But I didn't realise that there is a, I've got it on the right there, there is a massive difference in these foods, and I was horrified. I had no idea, and I'd never heard of the 80-20 rule. And I've had, well, I grew up with dogs, I've lived with dogs all my life, and I didn't realise there was such a thing. So the first thing she suggested was that I change the food. This was a Friday evening. Sorry, if I just mention this quickly, just place it down, and you just want to get it so it's in slightly from the ends, and by putting the glue on, it does give you time before you have to panic about sticking stuff down. Okay, let's find these, and this is what I mean. You can often get a gap if you've got the tape. It does help eliminate that. Where was I? Dog food. And I really didn't realise there was such a difference. And that's my years of experience with the dog. There you are. Right, that's the hard bit done. And I ordered some that's turning up today, and we start the training classes tomorrow at Woofs and Wags. It's a field just near us, not far from us, and it's all enclosed, and it's perfectly safe for the puppies and that to run round. So he starts his training with a vengeance tomorrow. Now, I don't know whether we'll be expelled on the first day. I'll let you know, but I hope we're not. And along with the food, I'm hoping that improves things. Right, the pockets. Now I've already done a load of the pockets already and the tags because I thought, well, you don't want to sit here watching me do that. The tags are, I scale them down on the Cricut. They're 2 5/8 of an inch wide. But that just gives you, again, these are for my measurements. The pocket is 5.75 by 4 1/8. And I scored on the long edge on about 5 1/8. Now these bits here, you've got to take out. Now I cut just above the fold line and then point. If you cut above the fold line, it just looks tidier. Oh, should look tidier. And you also score 1 3/8 of an inch and 4 3/8 of an inch. Now that's longer. The reason being is it flaps over like that. You've got a nice secure. So if I just do a little bit of glue here. And then you fold up the bottom. I fold it up on the outside because I think it just gives a nicer finish. And the other thing is, you will get it, you get a little bit of overhang of the glue, so just make sure when you do it, I usually put a ruler in there and squidge it down well, and then hopefully it will dry off. Right, you get your other little pockets, which are all stacked, and I just go down, glue down here, excuse me, and just position nicely. Just tap it down, make sure it looks okay, and that's that done. Before we go on any further, I just said with the tags, I put a little loop of lace on the top. I mean, you don't have to. If you want to cut notches down, you can. I just prefer to add a bit of an embellishment, and I just use the Tim Holtz because I find it's handy. Right, just check this is dry. That's it. That slots in there. Now to put it all together. Again, just check the positioning. That's the lid. Now, this is the bottom one here, and the long's at the back, so remember that. And then what you do, you put glue down the back, just in the middle. Stand it up with the base at right angles and position it. Make sure that you do it roughly evenly each side, okay? And you just stick that on like that. You then do exactly the same with the front. Stand it up, push the front. Now this one is a little bit trickier, so what I tend to do is put a ruler inside and just press it really hard. You can see that against the front, okay, to secure it. Right, now let's put the little dots on. I don't know what your preference is. I always tend to put the fluffy bit at the top, and I will put a bit of glue on. Again, although they are self-adhesive, I always think it's in the middle. Then scratchy bit, ouch, I'll put, sorry, over the other glue dot. This is probably teaching you how to suck eggs, but I just don't think that's quite central. Move it over slightly. And then put it down. I will put some glue in there. Put it down and make sure it's at right, they're all at right angles. Everything's at a right angle, the bottom and the top. If you see what I mean there. Then it will stand up nicely. Sorry, I'm just holding it for a minute. Yeah, it might come off, I thought it would. But I know where it's got to go, so that's okay. See what I mean with the glue? It's a nightmare. I'll leave that to dry for a little while. It just loses all its stick at the moment. It is so annoying, but I suppose there's nothing we can do about it. Ah, that's better. It's gone. And that's it, finished. If you've got any little gappy bits, just press them down. This is where the tape's handy, because you can press it down and make sure that the tape adheres, even though the glue might pay up. And there is your little pouch that opens to reveal your tags. I hope that's made sense, ladies. I know how I did it. It's just that sometimes it's not always easy to clarify. The only thing I will do, I think, is I'll just put a little ribbon on top. Whoops. Colour. What have I got? Green. How peculiar. Right, let's put the glue gun on. Yeah, I think pink will look quite pretty up there. And you could, if you wanted to, put one of the little labels that Kerryanne does. While I'm waiting for the glue gun, if I just put that, I hope you can see that. It's not 100% clear, I must admit, but hopefully it will give you an idea. Okay, let's see if the glue gun's ready. No. I'll do that when it's finished, and it will go there with the glue gun. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. And I will just quickly show you a sleeping puppy. Oh, I think he's so cute when he's got his mouth shut and he's asleep. Thank you for watching, ladies. Bye.